Well, hello there, everybody. I am going to check to make sure I am live. It's one of the first things you want to do is make sure you're actually live streaming and that people can hear you. So it looks like I am live. Awesome, awesome. And I'm going to type in my chat box and give people a minute or two to join. So if you're joining me live, definitely say hello and where you're coming from. I'm making all this noise. But it has been a hectic morning. If you saw my video earlier, my office looked a hot mess. What do you think about it now? See, looks pretty impressive. I think the scale's off a little bit, but anyway, I wanted to come on today to do a Facebook Live to talk a little bit about how you can turn your office or wherever you want to do a live stream from to looking professional and not just the hot mess that I showed earlier, where everything is kind of all over the place. And actually it really is, but I'm using some software. So now it looks a little grainy if you can kind of see, but I'll talk about that in a moment. I'm going to, because I definitely know that there was somebody that was talking about joining. And so before I get started, I would say that, I received a question about, how could I have a custom background? So somebody just joined, so I would definitely love to say hello to the group. Let me know you're here and write it in chat. Tell me where you're coming in from. Tell me where. Tell me where you live. What part of the country, what part of the world. Anyway, so I received a question about how can I have a custom background for, let's say it's video or live stream. So it doesn't have to be a live stream, but as you can see, this is definitely, I'm doing a custom background for this live stream. So I'll talk a little bit about the software a little bit, and I'll talk a little bit about the props, if you will, that I'm using to have this effect. This is not really my office, but it does allow me to hide the clutter that is definitely all around me, so that you can do the same thing too. And especially with live streams, you definitely, let's see, something is ringing and I should have had my do not disturb on. My, what you can do with live streams is you can kind of be anywhere, regardless of your environment. Sometimes people want to want live streaming and video to help build their audience, to build that like, no, trust factor. They want to show up, but they don't feel like they have the space, or they don't feel like, it's not professional looking to maybe do a live stream from your kitchen or what have you. And it's okay. It's okay. But if you don't have time to clean up everything, or if you don't, you have other things that could distract from, let's say, you going live or doing a show, having this custom effect could definitely make it look more professional. So what I have behind me is actually a green screen. That's the top secret thing. So I am going to show you what I mean. So let me turn this off real quick. So see how this green screen, it's just a fabric or you can buy them that are portable. You could buy them that look like this. This is called a muslin fabric, and you could hang it behind you. You can get paper, you can get paint, but the green screen or Chromakey effect allows you to use an image as your background. Now, I'm on a Mac and I'm using two different pieces of technology here. I could only use one, but I'm testing something. So on my Mac, I'm using Ecamm Live. It's a piece of software. I'm using the pro version of it, which is subscription based, but I got a coupon on it. But it allows me to put up this image. And in fact, let's see if I can show you. Let's try this and see what happens. And I am using a different piece of software called Be Live TV for going live. There we go. So see, this effect where it's split is Be Live, but that's another day. But on the right here is just the settings in my Ecamm Live. So I have the ability to toggle on and off the green screen, and then I can select an image. They give me, let's say, this brick background. There's some built-in ones, a castle. Ooh, feeling like the queen. A home office and other settings. And so you too can take a picture of whatever you want. And all I did for this one was I was testing. I just chose the file. And so if I choose it again, I'm back to this setting that I had with this office. And so there's a couple other options. Now, if you were doing this, let's say in Zoom, Zoom has this feature also. And so if you're not familiar with Zoom, Zoom allows you to have online meeting space, and you can do that too. And so it has another setting that's also for green screen, or chroma key is the official term. Now, let's say you wanted to create a video, not something live stream. So that's where you get a little bit, I won't say complex, but it depends on your software. So it's usually done in what we call post editing. And I know it sounds really complicated, but it's not. So on a Mac, you could use something like iMovie or ScreenFlow. Mac or Windows, you could use Camtasia. These are, or Premiere, Adobe Premiere. All of these are video editing solutions in where you have your green screen effect. And in fact, while I'm talking about it, I'm going to see if I can launch iMovie and kind of bring it up. You would record yourself in front of your green screen. So let me turn this off. So imagine I'm just standing in front of here. I'm recording in green screen, right? There's nothing about a fancy image or what have you. So then what happens is in the video editing software, there's the ability to click a green screen option, and then you would overlay your picture, your image. Now, I know that sounds a bit complicated, so think of it as a I brought up iMovie and now I can't see myself. So imagine you have a layered cake. You have your bottom layer and the top layer in like a 2-layer cake. So imagine your bottom layer is you in front of the green screen, and your top layer is the image you want to project. So what ends up happening is you can't get to that bottom layer without going through the top, right? So imagine that if you could look down through the cake, you're replacing the green with your top layer image, and then the only thing that would show through is you on top through the image, if that kind of makes sense. I try to use things that people can relate to. So even if you're all healthy and don't eat cake, you probably have in your lifetime eaten some cake and can identify with that. So let's see. So I'm trying to see, there was one thing I wanted to show, but it's not, it's kind of this side image. And of course, sometimes technology just does not work with you. I don't care how you might, how much you might want it to or what have you. And that was the ability to see a little bit more of my setup here. And I know I'm talking and what have you. So I'm going to see if I can bring it up on my phone is what I'm trying to do. And epoch. So give me just a little second, see if it'll actually work. Ah, there it is. So I am going to, this is what's like, it's kind of crazy here. So this is from my phone. Let me see if I can reverse it. There we go. So you're seeing the unfiltered view. So you see the green screen, and this is my side view. So you can see kind of what I have set up here. One thing to note about green screens, it's all about the lighting. So now you can see sort of my hair is flickering here and what have you. I have not set up really great lighting in here. So if you look this way, because I'm sitting in front of my computer, I kind of have some lights that are like, so if I turn it this way, it's kind of bouncing off the wall. Normally what I would do is if I turn this way, I would sit in front of my window and I would use natural light. But and sometimes I might put lights on the floor. This is just, the floor. And hopefully I'm not making you too dizzy. But see these little tabletop lamps? I have a couple little tabletop lamps here. And there we go. I have 2 of them. And they I move those around sometimes instead of my really big lamps. So I needed more office space. So behind me, and this is about behind the chair, the green screen is about just like 4 inches behind. I mean, it's really close. And the reason is because I wanted to be able to do some filming and other things like that that's sort of outside of this, but I needed the floor space. So I had a compromise where I'm setting up and trying to figure out, and I might add some lighting things that hang from the ceiling, but you get the idea. So I'm sort of panning around the front. You'll get the idea that this is my setup for doing most of my live streams. Now, sometimes I could also reverse this and have better lighting where you have, see those big umbrella lights or things like that. I have those too, but it's usually when my back is to my computer. So I am going to, let's see, remove this one and come back here. So it's just me. So all of that to say, that's one way of having a nice background. Another way that I've often used is these muslin screens. So I love these. What did that was iMovie just came up finally. Let's see if I'll come back to the iMovie in just a moment. But another way is the muslin screens. Now, these are big, and I usually drape this over. I'll tack it up, and I will put that over my green screen just because it's just easier to hold up. But I could tack this to the wall, and as you can see, this pattern is more like that wood effect that it's very popular. And so I like this, and I can have, you can buy patterns, you can buy brick. I use this blue one sometimes. It's just straight blue. And that gives a nice background too, and you can hide it. I've seen people use clothespins and hang it up and just sort of make whatever their office space look a little bit more professional. And that's an easy way. And I will link to all of these things after the live is done on where you can get some of these products. So let me see. I'm going to see if iMovie wants to cooperate with me. Apparently, I cannot talk today. I am just having a moment. But that is the beauty of going live. It's just how it is. So I'm going to see if I have. I don't think it. I think I might do that one a little bit separately. iMovie is not really being happy with me right now, but there are options in software that allow you to just say, Chromakey or green screen, and you click it, and then you have your picture behind it. So I hope that you have found this helpful in how you can make your office space look any way you like. If you're asking yourself again, why? It's definitely because, you might want to hide where you're actually doing your live stream, or especially if you're turning your live stream into more than just every once in a while, but into a show, and you want to brand yourself. So you could have a custom picture that has your site or your show name and all kinds of different things like that really make it polished and without spending a lot of money. Now, granted, I'm using maybe a little bit more than the average bear, but the muslin screens, I don't know, 40, 50 bucks maybe was what I paid. I don't remember the price. These are nice ones. They're not so heavy that they're hard, but they're not thin so that they have this shiny glow to them or anything like that. So it's a quality muslin, and I really like that. And the green screens, Chromakey, like I said, can come in these also, as well as this one is a collapsible one. I know you don't see it right now, but this one is a collapsible one. And in fact, I'll show you really quickly. So if you see sort of the top, that's my ceiling. See how I have the clips? It didn't push. There we go. And I will remove myself really quickly. But see how the clips there, that's my ceiling, that's my ceiling fan. And so you get an idea of what it all looks like. And it's just, and then I have what we call the light stands with the clips at the top, and it's just holding it. And then when I don't need it, I collapse it down and put it into the closet. So let me bring myself back on. And voila, here we go again. So that was me getting used to a new piece of software called BeLive.tv, which I'll talk about in another live stream. So all that to be said, let me know if you found this helpful. I'm working on something that has sort of a script and things to help people that are uncomfortable with doing Facebook Lives. I'd love to know in the comments if that's something that you're interested in. And otherwise, looks like my screen froze for a moment. I will see you later. Bye.